All right, so this is according for the archives, and it talks about the mysterious killing. This is from 2013, which was like 7 years ago, basically. And we was remembering the Jamaican businesswoman Melissa Clarke, who was killed under very mysterious circumstances for the home in Washington Gardens. Because what the story was is that she, I think, was coming home and then she got ambushed and taken out just like that. And I think I did a commenting that at the time it happened. And thing is, from what is read, all right, is just that it's yeah, for what the for the fact that there's the way that her killing went down is that I immediately thought that was a contract killing because things that nothing was reported taken, all right, and there was all right, cause or something, and again, it's just like the her killers knew were probably tailing her, probably waiting for her at her gate for taking her out. So this was nothing random. There's like there was basically the marks of a contract killing, and up to this day, cause nothing else has come out about this woman's death. Even 7 years later, cause she's just one of the many that have been lost in that proverbial shuffle all these many years ago. Because like remember, a lot of these civilians who get targeted, let's just say that they basically become just they're just pretty much lost in that shuffle. All right, because for whatever reason, no leads have been coming forward. Like nobody close to her has confirmed or divulged anything. All right, and let's just be honest. Like she's not really top of the priority scale with the law enforcement in Jamaica. Let's just be honest, because currently another businesswoman, Marsha Chin, you I think her name. Yeah, there's a Chinese businesswoman who got killed in ever since a circumstance similar to this woman. Just read this year. Immediately have three suspects in custody, and this almost in the same span as same day. But moreover, the reason Melissa Clarke doesn't get that same treatment because so far up to now we've never heard. There's been no updates as to who did it or so on. Cause and so on. And yeah, the most apart from that, the what also said about her, which is very sad. Like she was a mother of a child. I don't think she named it was a son or a daughter. Don't hold that child's know, but I can't imagine how that poor baby was going through not having his or her mother with her in the life all this time. Cause and the thing is, I can only hope that the father of the child is in the child's life and is picking up the slack at this moment, or other relatives. We don't know. They haven't really said much because Melissa Clarke, like many other Jamaican people, they get lost in shuffle. Like they just make the headlines for one moment, then nothing else happens, and it just shows you the indifference that's within Jamaican society. Because as a Jamaican society, we made up our minds that no matter how many of our civilians get cut down, yeah, that's just really just that's like a drop in the bucket. Because we're not none of as far as I don't think any of our relatives have hired a private investigator if they can afford one to look into it. Nobody who's close to her who had any suspicions or have made anything public. And let's be honest, if they did, there's a 50-50 chance that the police are going to do anything about it. Because let's just say she's not really up there. She's not like Marsha Chinsu, who do just miss Chin Young. If I'm not pronouncing this current lady's name right, forgive me. She's as prominent as she is, so that they're not really gonna go to the way to really do anything about this case because they figure, nah, whatever. I mean, like, yeah, life goes on, whatever, get over it. I mean, so she's not really on the top priority scale. And the thing is, I must say, I didn't know this woman. I can't say that she's what kind of person she was, who she involved with. So people don't really, if you're going to respond, I don't want anyone to say, oh, I'm just copying please for a woman I've never met in my entire life that I'm just reading about that I've never had any interactions with. So I can't tell her what kind of person she was, but the thing is though that it's just I noticed that there's a trend like a lot of these Jamaican civilians who are business people are getting killed in these same manners, and it does lead to and it just shows you though that he had someone who was very promising I think she was on this show. I think she was on the Jamaica Mogul. I think she was a contestant. She she was a nominee for the Jamaica Observer in Mogul and Macon. I haven't heard for that at that part and so on. All right. And so on. So this was so basically, if she had this hadn't happened to her, she could have had a very bright future. Her for her and her child, and mostly for the rest of her family. All right. And so on. And I said like, and I'm noticing a lot of these Jamaican people who are business owners are getting killed. I've done lots of recordings on that for State of Jamaica, and she is one of the most notable ones. And bear in mind, I was doing YouTube videos around 2013. It's just 3 years later I started doing this, but I read about this woman a while back, and it's just like, yeah, this is some. I genuinely believe that there are some. Either she most likely had some enemies who just paid those guys to kill her, and so on. Or the other reason, which is very likely, just tends to contract killings, that there are some extortionists who are looking to really, who they probably tried to strong arm her. She probably said, "Nah, I'm not going that way. I'm not really paying extortion money." And they said, "Okay, that will be your last act on earth." That's the most, and so on. So that's the most likely reasons why. And yeah, people are probably just saying that, okay, maybe she had some other enemies who want to take her out for personal reasons. I do not know. Only the people close to her who have idea what happened. Only they can answer that. But this is just a very worrying trend that Jamaicans and need to really stop being so damn denial about, though. And yeah, people are gonna say, "Hey, this is from 7 years ago, man. Yeah, let that go." Nobody know so far. Nobody has come any case about. There's no newspaper said that her killers or killer have been caught. So that's still an open case, though. And that poor child, daughter, son, they still have to have the fact that the mom is not going to be in the picture. And like I said, I'm just hope the father of the child is picking up the slack and so on, because they didn't mention the father. Like a lot of other recordings, when they have these mothers are mentioned, yeah, the father is pretty much non-existent. But I don't know. I just wanted to do a recording on this, and this is for the archives, because so far we've never really gotten to the bottom of who killed Melissa Clarke. And the thing is, it's up to Jamaica. I'm saying this is up to you. All right, you want to keep being in denial about the fact that we are basically this undercurrent of criminality that Jamaica was created from. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter how many victims get swallowed up by this monster. Yeah, we're just going to be so indifferent and uncaring up to this point. But just remember though that Melissa Clarke, much like others, they didn't think they were going to be victims until they became victims. So the people who are indifferent and the ones who are and so on who are going to might see this video are basically going to say, nah, yeah, whatever, man. Yeah, this doesn't concern me. Bear in mind, you could be the next Melissa Clarke. All right, just like you could be the next Marsha Chinsu, you could be the next Eroy Davy. All right, you could be the next Kevin Ferguson, who else? You could be just end up just like them. All right, and the funny thing, except to Marsha Chinyu, I think nobody's really going to be batting an eye, and they're just going to be so unbothered by your killing. All right, so just bear in mind, you could be the next statistic that people are just going to just basically not bat an eye about and just go about their business. So that's all I have to say. So this is still an unsolved killing as far as we know, but somebody out there knows something. Somebody know what the real story is. We'll see what happens and so on. And prayers for her child and so on. Cause I don't know how that child is now, but that child must have been going through hell all this time. And can only pray that the child turns it okay. So this is for State of Jamaica and Caribbean. Check out my other YouTube pages. Steak, Miles Goods and Farron, Miles Productions, and Real Thoughts of Miles. All right.